Hello and welcome back. Here we see our character screen for where we're starting today. And when we last left off, we unfortunately seem to have lost young Nikolai. He went after his wife, and no one has seen him since. I think we'll just do a small touch of exercise today.
This is a little...
Just to keep moving towards the point where we complete our exercise regime.
Your legs are too...
At some point I'll do some climbing off screen just so that we get to the point where we're good enough to climb into town at night. So honestly, I'm not certain exactly how much skill it takes. So I don't know how much I'll need to train to do it, but either way, I'm not going to do it on camera. It's not worth the
Your legs are
repetitive nature. I'm going to try my best to alternate spending nights somewhere where we can have dreams about Arana versus in our room at the inn. The reason for that we'll get into later when it comes up. Strength is doing very well, which is nice. The rest of our stats certainly need work, but that's okay. Yes. Alright, so let's go spend a little more time around town. In fact, I think today might be a decent day to do our initial exploration of the graveyard. Just to take a look at... Oh, hey, what's up?
You greet Igor. Igor looks up at you.
Good talk.
This cemetery, this where dead people buried. Igor buries them.
Seems reasonable.
Me, Igor. You weird stranger.
What's going on with this grave you're digging right now?
Hole in ground. Put person in when dead.
Is someone dead right now?
Well, technically only large one crypt. Crypt of Borgov's. Smaller building tomb. Not certain what distinction myself.
Neither am I.
Oh, Igor got key to crypt. Igor keep key to crypt. No disturb crypt. Not nice.
Alright, so it seems that Igor has the key here, but he's not willing to give it to us just yet. Let's see if anything's written on this tombstone.
This headstone does not have an epitaph. Yet. How about that old one? Death is just nature's way of telling you to slow down.
Fair enough. Let's take a read through on some of these.
Here lies Janos, faithful forever to his lost true love, laid beside her empty grave.
Empty grave. How would the grave be empty? Let's see.
This gravestone is marked, no effort could Elissa save. She passed into a watery grave. Her body was lost, only her memory remains.
It's interesting. Young girl who was lost in a watery grave.
An inscription on the door says, House of Ligeia Poe. May she rest forever.
Ligeia Poe, okay.
This headstone reads, On a dare, Pasha Sperry spent the night in the cemetery. Something gave him such a fright that now he sleeps here every night.
Interesting choice to use someone's gravestone to get a final dig in at them.
The inscription on this headstone reads, Michael Med bumped his head in another man's bed. Now he's dead. Rest in peace.
I wonder if that's supposed to mean that he had an injury, or maybe he was spending time with someone else's wife and was murdered. Interesting.
Here lies the spirit of Barney Blue. To his lover was untrue. So she knew just what to do. Fixed herself some Barney stew. Here lies the body of Carrie Nation, who answered a vampire's invitation. Now there's cause for lamentation. It was a fatal recreation.
Does not sound like a great idea.
Arkan Tenor walked at night, Arkin saw his final sight. Now the question seems to be, what in the world did Tenna see?
Few state names hidden in there. Fun. We don't have a name of that bush yet, so we're going to continue on and ignore the Lishi for now. Let's see. I think we have come across most everything. That'll be the gypsy camp. Down here is where our dear friend Baba Yaga lives. Or not. Ooh, another wyvern. It's be interesting. We don't need any more poison cure. Alright, so let's do fireballs. Ah! I have to stop back in on the good doctor. Should be able to make us another one. Definitely never learned to excel at the combat in this game. In fact, usually end up just setting it to the kind of automatic setting. If you hit that S down there, the game will just fight for you, which makes things a lot easier, but it'll be a little more fun if we actually do things ourselves.
Hello.
Hello. You creepy little leashy baby boys. I would bet that drinking the water from Arana's piece probably heals us. I don't remember, but that's probably the case. Let's see how good I do at Simon. Once you do like 10 or 15 of those, it stops quizzing you, but...
You faintly hear a voice saying,
"Ah, you're just in time to witness a magnificent scientific experiment. I have managed to harness the very primal force of lightning at my beck and call. Now I shall use it to create life itself. Watch this."
Is he saying that he invented electricity? I feel like there's a lot of different things you could do rather than just shock yourself.
That was not quite the experimental result I expected. But never mind that. It is merely a momentary setback in the annals of science. I shall readjust the magnetic electrical stimulation system and try again another day.
Magnetic electrical stimulation system, otherwise known as MESS.
You say hello.
It is good to see you again. I trust the Antwerp.
You tell Dr. Cranium about your first adventures in the Spielberg Valley. He seems vaguely interested in your tales of the Baron and his children, but his eyes positively light up when you mention the Antwerp.
Ah, so you are the Spielberg hero. I went there on an Antwerp gathering expedition a few months ago. The people there are still talking about your adventures.
Look at that, we're still
You
famous.
continue by telling Dr. Cranium of your encounters with the eccentric wizard Erasmus, the deadly kobold magic user, and the ogress Baba Yaga.
This doesn't seem like it's gonna
Turned
go well.
her into a frog? Oh, such poppycock. There is a perfectly straightforward scientific explanation for all of those events. There is no such thing as magic.
Alright. Anything more interesting? Drugs.
I am convinced that the primal force of life is electrical in nature. Of course, it must also involve water for life, and pizza, without which life would be boring.
It's fair. Very fair.
I have come to the conclusion that lightning is electrical in nature, which would put it in the realm of fire.
Okay.
Fortunately, there have been an increasing number of storms here lately, so I have been able to harness some of the lightning and store it for experimental use.
What's your obsession with Antwerps?
Are truly fascinating species. They reproduce by splitting into a number of tiny Antwerps, each with their own genetic code. They cannot split voluntarily, however. They only reproduce when cut or stabbed. My test Antwerps came from Spielberg Valley, where there was an Antwerp population explosion last spring.
That may or may not have been our fault.
Oh, this is a sad, ignorant land where everyone seems to think more of magic than of science. Still, it is a good place for a scientist to work. There are many fascinating monsters to study, and I can get all the dead bodies I need.
Alright, that's probably enough for now. Let us be on our way.
Perhaps I should wait a day or two before resuming my Frankie experiment. It is very important that the right person stay in charge here.
Seems reasonable. It also seems... Oh, wait. So repetitive. Oops.
You hear?
Oh.
Ah, it is truly a beautiful day for science, is it not, my young friend? The sun has risen right on schedule and will undoubtedly set according to the proper laws of celestial mechanics.
Probably true. Forgot why we actually came here.
That didn't do it. That didn't.
Here you are, one fresh...
Beautiful. And let me get another healing potion.
Here you are, one freshly brewed...
Alright. Now let's depart. And just take our poison cure pill quickly.
The only effect is a tingling.
Alright. On our way.
Of course, the real process of science is exciting only to those initiated into its greater mysteries. You should seek out knowledge wherever you can find it.
That actually is genuinely good advice. Thank you, Doctor. Okay, so... in reality, there isn't a great deal that we need to do today. The next interesting thing that happens, I believe, should start tomorrow, if my memory is correct. There's something we do overnight as well that I'd like to stop in on. But I think what we'll do is just kind of do a little fighting out here, waste the day away a little bit. Maybe some sleeping since we're... Oh, look at that. Already there. Come down here. And now start coming north. Do I have my location on? I do.
You feel it?
Oops. Not going to be dealing with any of those rocks that only appear at night just yet. We will get to that in time. Yes.
Anna, I found you. Anna!
Voice is much different.
Nikolai, I've been trying to find you for so long.
I never stopped looking for you, Anna. Never. I love you, Anna. I loved you from the moment you smiled at me. And I will love you for always.
Oh, Nikolai. This time we will always be together.
Forever?
Forever.
The ghostly apparition vanishes.
Well, we seem to have caused the death of this old man, but we also reunited him with his wife, so that's like...
We came back one
positive.
last time to thank you for reuniting us.
Yes, thank you so much. Without your help, I would have been lost forever.
I do not know how we can help you. This is the last you will ever see of us.
If there is anything we can do for you, please ask.
We waited so that we could thank you.
You have saved our deaths from being endless and meaningless.
Say some...
I shall never again be
goodbyes.
lost and alone. Nikolai and I will find our way. Being a ghost is not bad when you have someone you love with you.
Oh, that's so nice.
I have been lost so long. I do not know how I can help you. Perhaps you can talk to my friend Olga. She knows everything that goes on in town.
She married Boris Stovich, who owned the shop.
She did? She is such a lovely girl. I'm sure they are happy together. Oh, Olga will be able to tell you many things about the town.
Maybe I should be asking her some more stories about rumors.
I have not been so happy since the day of our wedding. It seems strange being a ghost. Still, it is better than being an old man who has lost his only love.
Fair enough.
It has been so long, and I know so little of what goes on today. Still, some time ago, there was talk in town about a stranger moving into Borgov Castle. There was much talk and many rumors about who had moved in. I do not know whether your path will ever take you to the castle, but I do know of a secret passageway to there.
That sounds helpful.
There was some talk of vampires at the time. I do not think anyone in Mordavia was actually killed by a vampire, so gradually the talk faded.
It's always vampires.
My grandfather once told me that there is a secret passage that leads from the Borgov crypt in the cemetery to the castle. It was an escape route for the Borgov family when they were alive.
Okay. We'll have to keep an eye on that in the crypt.
I do not think anyone even saw the stranger. We only knew him as the Dark Master. It is an ominous title.
Not exactly, complimentary.
You may of course take my hat. I have no further use for it.
Cool, you got a hat. Alright. Well, let's say goodbye.
Farewell. May you never be lost.
Farewell. May you never be lonely.
Thanks, guys.
The ghost.
And of course, I didn't think about the fact that we're now outside at night and have to try to... Ooh, some bats. Let's fight some bats. And we're supposed to get them. Certainly hope that Arana's waters heal us, otherwise we're going to be in for a very unpleasant night. There we go. Alright, let's make our way to Arana's Peace then.
You feel...
Let's not go down here yet. Hopefully I'm going to the right location. Very good.
You take a drink of the...
And it did cure our poison. Good. Alright, so I was intending to sleep in town tonight, but I forgot that I wanted to check on Anna and Nikolai, so we'll stay out here again, and we'll get our second interesting dream.
You have returned to this wonderful place between worlds. You are again filled with the joy of being truly alive. You find yourself dancing at the heart of the cosmos. You spin and the universe swirls with you and around you. Suddenly, something calls out to you. You feel a coldness rapidly devouring you. You falter in fear as you remember what happened the last time you were here. The voice calls again, and you feel trapped, helpless. The closer you get to that voice, the greater the fear. It is a voice of pain, a voice of death. You flee in terror. You awaken as the sun You wake in a cold sweat. You remember every detail of the nightmare as though it had really happened to you.
Maybe it did. Okay, let's head back to town and see how things are going. Might even want to tell the Burgomeister about what we saw with Nikolai. We'll see. Whatever, sure. Why do you get to shoot fireballs? I can't shoot fireballs. No fair. Flame with my sword doesn't even light on fire anymore. Gotta find a new Paladin sword so we don't have to make the sword again. Stop fighting things so I can build up a stockpile of poison cure. Come on. Come on. Get him. Oh good. We just have to grab as well. Come on. Need you to attack at some point. Ah. Getting frustrated. If you don't click in the right area, it just won't attack. And that can be very annoying at times. Which again is why usually I just kind of let the computer fight for us. Let's go up here, do our little puzzle. See what's new happening with the good doctor.
I believe I am on the verge of a major discovery. It came to me last night. I believe that there is a formula which can be used to create a rehydration solution.
Interesting.
Such a solution could be used to restore fluidity to any substance or object that has become prematurely dry. If we can but manufacture Dr. Cranium's rehydration solution in sufficient quantities, we could rehydrate the great Shapirian Desert. Of course, nice. There are a few small bugs to be worked out. It would take most of the water in the world's oceans to make that much solution. Then there's the tiny snag that I have not been able to remember the formula since awakening from the dream.
Well, that sounds familiar. Hello, sir.
You say hello to the scientist.
You are always welcome in my laboratory. However...
Alright, we told about our first adventures. How about the adventures from QFG4 2 and
You relate the tale of your journey to Shapir, how you saved 2 cities from the evil vizier Ad-Avis and his elemental minions.
Now you are talking science. The elements are the building blocks of everything in nature. I am sure I have never heard of anyone constructing creatures purely of a single element, but it certainly makes scientific sense.
Does it?
You say this Ad-Avis referred to a dark master here in Moldavia? I am sure I have never heard of such a one here. There are rumors of strange goings-on in the castle, but I do not credit such tales without scientific observation to back them up.
Fair enough. Alright. Let's ask about science quickly.
It is very important.
And we'll start with our poison cure.
Here you are.
Healing.
Here you are.
And let's talk about this rehydration solution.
You need my world-famous rehydration solution. Unfortunately, I have forgotten the elemental formula of its main ingredient. Perhaps you can help.
Indeed I can. Yammer. Maybe Yammer. Let's see. Air. Pizza. Air, water, pizza.
Yes, that sounds just right. By the way, I could use some goo for one of my experiments. It would be most kind if you could bring me some when you return for the rehydration solution.
Alright, so we need to grab him some goo. Let's see.
The scientist never fails to observe nature. Why, if I had not gone on an observation trip in the forest, I would never have found that garden with all the rare and exotic flora. The forest outside of town is quite a fascinating area. The trees are primarily deciduous with the occasional conifer. A wide variety of fauna inhabits the forest, providing great opportunities for scientific research and occasionally excitement of other kinds. There is a beautiful garden in the forest southeast of town. It contains several varieties of plants and trees that cannot be found anywhere else in this region. I had some fascinating experimental results with the bush I dug up there. Unfortunately, I was not able to keep it alive in captivity. There used to be a bush that grew 7 different types of blossoms in the garden. There is still a tree that provides fruit in a very peculiar cycle. There are also many beautiful flowers and plants growing there. I am convinced that the garden must have been intentionally planted, as it contains specimens that are not native to this region. Whoever planted it clearly did not understand the basic tenets of ecology. Fortunately, few of the spores have spread to the wider forest so far.
I would think maybe it would be obvious that it was intentionally planted, since there's also a stone bridge and some lanterns, but sounds like Dr. Cranium may have been the one who initially dug up the bonsai bush to begin with.
I have come
we already talked about lightning, about rehydration.
Dr. Cranium's rehydration solution should be a shoo-in for the alchemical innovation of the animal ward. It contains the prime essence of the element of water in a perfectly condensed form. Oh, I do seem to be a little careless in keeping track of my scientific formulae. I have them all written down somewhere. I think it was in the margins of one of my books here.
As much of a scientist as he is, it sounds like he doesn't do a great job of really doing science well. Oh wait, some of that might have actually been it.
I spent some time in Spielberg last summer. Everyone there kept talking about some hero who did some sort of noble deeds there. You would think that they could find more excitement in the modern accomplishments of science.
Seems to have forgotten that that person was us.
There seemed to be quite an infestation of baby antwerps there for some reason. I took advantage of the opportunity to capture a number of them in very blunt cages for my experiments. The Baron did not even charge me very much for them.
I'm quite certain the Baron was ecstatic to get rid of a bunch of Antwerps.
The only...
I believe that Dr. Cranium got
Rehydration may prove to be a crucial step on the way to an...
Alright. Before we go anywhere else, let's run down, quickly grab some brew goo, come back. I'm going to sleep for 1 hour. Okay. And then we will head back to town, as there is something there which we must do. Although, I may just give him the brew goo and then end the video there, and maybe we'll spawn this next event in our next video. Let's see. Oops.
You slowly fill your flask with the greasy, grimy goo.
Goo. Rob Reiner, my goo. It's for you South Park fans out there. Alright. I don't feel like doing this right now. Some other time, Mr. Wyvern. Apparently they just don't feel like coming to town. Alright. Let's pop in. I already forgot. Alright.
It is truly a beautiful day for science.
Yeah, you already said that. Here's your goo.
That is terrific! This is just what I need for my experiments. As I promised, here is your rehydration solution.
Alright, now we have some...
Of course, the real process of science is
some super good water, apparently. And what else could you really want out of life other than really, really good water? So, weapon use, climbing up a little bit. Actually, not up on dodge, kind of accidentally, but that's cool. Luck, communication. Agility and vitality aren't moving much yet, but that's fine. Strength is moving nicely. So, like I said, we will end things here. And next time around, we're going to have some new things going on here in the town of Mordavia. So, until then, see you next time. Bye.